Welcome to yet another program of Building Bridges. I'm Mohamed Afra, and joining me on this program is our senior editor political, Hassan Zia. In this special edition of the program, we would like to focus on bilateral relations between the Maldives and some of our neighboring countries, including regional cooperation and also on the SAARC. I think it would only be fair to speak about the relations between India and the Maldives first. India and the Maldives established bilateral relations on the 1st of November 1965. The current Indian High Commissioner to the Maldives, D.M. Muley, presented his credentials to the President on the 28th of April 2009.
Maldives being the host of the 17th SAARC Summit, it is trying its best to make the 17th SAARC Summit a success. And India is one of the countries helping the Maldives in the preparations for the SAARC Summit. To discuss about the SAARC Summit and the bilateral relations between India and the Maldives, I'm joined here by the Indian High Commissioner to the Maldives, His Excellency Mr. Daneshwar M. Muley. Welcome, Your Excellency.
Thank you.
Let me begin with bilateral relations.
Yes.
How do you describe the bilateral relations between India and the Maldives?
Well, to be frank with you, our bilateral relations are so deep, so close, and it has such a long history that's very difficult to find adjectives. In a sense, when we say that we are geographically together, as you know, geographical blocks, we have grown together. The first inhabitants of Maldives came from southern and western and eastern peninsular areas of India. You know about Giravaru people. You know, they came from India. They were of Tamil origin. Subsequently, you have seen that there have been traces of Hinduism as well as, you know, a formal establishment of Buddhism in this country, and therefore India and Maldives might have emerged as separate countries over a period of historic time, but as people we are one. That's how deep is our relations. These relations, after independence of Maldives, got a new boost, and this boost was through trade, through people to people exchange, through government relations. Today when we look at our relations, to my mind it has considerably progressed from what it used to be a few years back. Let me give you a few examples. We used to have obviously very, very good and friendly relations, you know, and that has been the tradition. However, in the recent times, you will see the number of visits from India to Maldives and from Maldives to India have increased. We have former President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam came here. We have Rahul Gandhi, who is one of our young leaders. He came here. We have Anthony, our defense minister, has visited. We have Commerce Minister Mr. Anand Sharma has visited this country. We have Salman Khurshid, who is our Minister for Law. He has visited this country. We have Mr. Weiler Ravi, Minister for Civil Aviation, has visited this country. We have many other government dignitaries have been regularly visiting, and our engagement is not limited to one area. Our engagement is now across the board, multifaceted, you know, multidimensional engagement. So visits is one example. Let me give you another example of investments. Despite our closer relations, our investments were very limited in Maldives, and Maldives, to its credit, in the last 30 years has made tremendous progress through tourism particularly, and there are investments in this country from far away countries also. Compared to that, we found that we had almost no investments, no major investments in this country. Last 3 years again, we have seen enormous rise in investment. What it shows is investment is an expression of an interest of, in particularly India is a democracy. Government does not control the investment. So investment is an expression of interest of common man, how he perceives the country. Obviously people perceive that our relationship with Maldives are flourishing. That's why there is investment. So GMR, of course, is a well-known case of investment from India, but there are others also. We have in Lamugan at all, there will be going to be a university, international university will be established, and a medical hospital, a sports complex, a school, a resort are part of the plan. But in addition to these big things, there are many smaller projects are coming, and these vary in the in terms of investment and size of investment. I think particularly this is very, very important, because India has been growing at a rate of 8 to 9%, and it is considered to be the world's second fastest growing economy.
How much do you monitor those projects, and are you happy or satisfied with the progress?
Well, we do monitor very closely, even though these projects are essentially in private sector and it's not government's responsibility. But we think that in the interest of good relations, the projects must succeed. To that extent, we monitor them, and our advice to our investor has been: be prompt, be efficient, be people friendly, take into account local sensitivities, create partnerships. And that that philosophy has been very well understood by our investing companies, and whenever we get an opportunity to advise them, we try and give very, very elaborate advice to them as to how. It's not a question of economic success. The question is, any investment should ultimately enrich and empower both the partners in the true sense of the term, and a true partnership, friendship should emerge out of that. That is the vision that we have been trying to implement